What's up, guys? I'm Jake McGee. I'm here at the Prime Sports Midwest Bat Demo Day right here, proud sponsor of Youth Baseball Midwest.
So I'm Jay, I'm swinging the Supra, and a couple things I like about it, it's light, and you don't feel the ball whenever you hit it. It goes pretty far, and yeah.
It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one.
Definitely a different type of process.
Cut down or freeze up.
Being coach's son. Jackson, of course. They keep what stuff is things like hit by pitch. Oh
my. Welcome everybody to the Hitting Zone podcast. This is where we take baseball topics, tough subjects, like a good slider, like a good curveball, but we can hit, so we crush them. And if you like what we do here on the Hitting Zone podcast, make sure you give me a follow. My Instagram is _MTS Performance. And then you can find the Hitting Zone on X at Hitting Zone STL. It's capital HZ and then an STL. And then on TikTok, which has been my go-to lately on TikTok.
You're a talker.
A ticker, a talker.
It's one and the same.
I was going to start singing like I'm a joker. No, whatever. Anyways, that's where you can follow me, the Hitting Zone STL.
This is why you don't.
Oh, are you going to hit me with a Lawrence Taylor out of Waterboy? It was the good ones, at least. Anyways, go follow me over there on TikTok. I need some followers over there so we can continue to grow that channel. I'm getting some good buzzes over there, and we have some good content on there. That's been a big focus of mine lately, is to try to grow that channel. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday for my athletes that we work out. So if you want to see some new moves, new move Thursday, new move Tuesdays, we got some things going. But Game 7 Baseball has been a huge supporter of the podcast and support of YBM. And they have their spring schedules out, spring and summer schedule out for 2026.
Yep.
And so make sure you go over there, take advantage of the discounts. Prime Sports Midwest. I love working with Rick and their staff over there. They have 3 locations: Fenton, Chesterfield, and out by me in St. Peters. You can order your gear online. You can get your team stores set up there, and they'll take care of you. They drop ship it to your house.
We had fun at the bat demo.
I saw some pictures. Did not participate myself.
We dropped on the intro here. You just saw we were from the bad demos, some kids and whatnot. I always love to get, no offense to the Bat Bros, and I don't mean this derogatorily towards those guys. They've done fine. It is what it is. But I don't need to see a grown man swinging a drop 10. And we go, oh, wow, that's got pop. Dude, you're 6'3", 220 and swinging a drop 10.
I don't think he's 6'3".
I don't care. It's still 5'10", man. It's still a drop 10.
He is 30 or something like that, a former D1 athlete.
Fantastic. But it doesn't do anything for me.
Well, yeah, it's because you're older than he is.
I want to know. Is it about the kids?
No, it's about social media and making money. It's all right. I mean, he just.
But, like I said, no offense to those guys. It is what it is. But I enjoy going to the bat demo, and we're able. We don't. Not all kids do it. There's kids that get nervous, like, no, I ain't gonna do that. Okay, cool. But we drop those mics on the kids, and you'd be surprised what you get. And you know what? If you hear a 10, 11, or 12-year-old go, it's okay. It's just okay.
Well, yeah, because that's the one thing you can have about kids is the honesty. So when you get the honesty of an athlete, it's like, okay, well, that's not the one for me. But, I'm the same way because, people like end-loaded bats, and stuff like that. I'm a balanced guy. An end-loaded is supposed to be for a guy like me. But I'm going to go in there and I'm going to say, hey, can I try the end-loaded? That's what I like about doing it, is because who knows that as I grow or get stronger or my swing maybe change, maybe I do end up getting into a drop-loaded bat. And so I think I love bat demos for that purpose. You know, what wood sounds the best? You know, after you crack it, do you like the maple? Do you like the birch? You know, do you like the 2-piece? Do you like the
the one
composite?
piece, right? The
And
composites,
so
yeah.
I think having these gives you a real good
If you're
feel
gonna
for
buy
what
a
you're going to
bat,
spend.
go do it.
Well,
right?
that's what I don't like about buying online. You know, gloves and things like that, and that's why having the brick and mortar store like Prime Sports has is good, because you can feel.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to go to you got batting gloves, you got grip, you know, everything that you want is available to you, and so I think it's good.
And a quick shout out to Jake McGee for opening the show here. That was fun. He did that for us. It was cool.
Okay, is he
Cool.
is he just in town for a couple days?
No, he's actually he's on break. Yeah, he's on break. It's school break. So
Thanksgiving break.
Yep. And so he's at Swick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. Going to be interesting. It's still, him trying to work through it, get to keeping his options to that place. He wants to go. He wants to make it to the MLB, and he's keeping working. I love it. And the kid can hit.
The kid can hit. We got the chance to see him in that group at CBC that had graduated all those seniors in it, I guess 2 years ago, right? 2 years ago?
Oh,
2 summers ago?
3? That was 20.
With Caden, with Beer, or
It was Caden Peer, Nazan.
It might have been 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's 3 years.
Yeah, we saw him at CBC, and
Yeah.
everybody had, it was against Jackson,
That was
right?
That lineup was ridiculous.
Yeah, then it broke some records.
Derek Pitts was playing
Center,
in the
right?
Yeah.
Center field.
I
Yep.
mean, he's at Cincinnati. Is he still? I think he's still at Cincinnati, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't really, if I don't have ties with them from being at Timberland and stuff like that, I don't really follow their career path. Usually I'll see it on the Instagram or something, that if they transfer or whatnot. But, it's very difficult for them to go in as freshmen anyways. No matter how good you are, you still have somebody that's 5 years older than you, 4 years older than you, that's got the maturity level. So it's still pretty tough to get in there.
I took us way off there. Can I do this last one for you? Because I'm gonna plug him. Because we just went live with the YBM Club. And, this is something that for us, we've been working on for about a year now, probably more. We appreciate all the folks that sponsor our live, and we're going to keep doing that. But this is an opportunity we needed to create a space where, the community can support what we do and how we do it. We need that so we can continue to do the things we're doing. And kudos to Mitch here, who's been a longtime supporter of what we do here. And of course, being he started with me doing baseball talk. Now he's got his own show, and I appreciate what he's doing here, and great content. And then he offered an opportunity, some discounts if you're a YBM club member here in the St. Charles, or even further, depending. But some really cool discounts for his memberships that we appreciate. So, if you get a chance and you want to continue to support guys like what we're doing here with Mitch, it gives us an opportunity to continue to help our contributors grow their platforms and continue to bring content. And then he's also been very kind to offer member pricing at a discount. So I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, and it's a big deal, because if you go around and you look at all the kind of the facilities, there's a lot of nice facilities out there. And I think the Hitting Zone is a nice facility. We have probably one of the older buildings kind of in the area.
Hey, it's been around a while.
Yeah. And so for us, like, the one thing I love about this is, if as a member, I think you have to be willing to grind as a member. You have to come in there and do it on your own. Your parents throwing to you. You can hit off our machine. We have a fungal man that'll throw to you if you don't have a parent that can flip, or you're tired of hitting off the tee, stuff like that. But you don't even have to be a baseball player or softball player. You want to kick a soccer ball for a while. You want to work on footwork drills because you can't get outside or something of that nature. Yeah. You can get in there and do that kind of stuff. And the thing about being a member, and I don't want to take away from what I sell, where I make the most money, which is how I do my lessons, instruction, and programming. But you don't need that if you just show up every single day. And that's what the membership brings to you. And I tell you what, if you use our cages every day, you're saving a boatload of money, because it's $85 a month, and then you get the discount with us on the YBM Club. But you got to go to find it out. So make sure you go find the YBM Club information, you go look, because I'm not telling you the discount. It's a good one. Go check it out. That way you can see all the other fun stuff that is on the website when you go purchase this thing.
And right now, for the first 100 members, we have our legacy member pricing right now. For the first 100, go to youthbaseballmidwest.com. You can go to the YBM Club. You can sign up. First year, starting January 1, you can take advantage of and get all this. Discounts from Prime Sports. We got Premier Pitching Performance, all these things here. But $60 for legacy members. We got the first 100 legacy members. We appreciate it. We're looking, we're hoping that this will help us continue to grow. And with our supporters, we appreciate. We've already had some people sign up, so we're grateful for that. Thank you.
Spots are limited. So let's talk about that then. So let's talk about community. And I think this is what what drew me into wanting to work with you. I think that's the relationship kind of from your end to my, for me is what we're kind of building and what we see the growth in the baseball community and how we can support it, how we can help it. I had a conversation yesterday with a gentleman outside of baseball, just talking about youth sports in general and what kind of separates a club from another club, whether it's some of it can be aesthetics, some of it can be the name and how can you gain some momentum for what you're trying to do? And, he started asking me kind of questions on what I felt was very important to me as a coach. And I'll say this all the time, and we're going to continue to talk about it. Hopefully you'll see some things coming up about culture, about the environment that you're producing inside of there. So we don't have the volume of players. We just had a young man throw a bullpen the other day. He's still got one more camp that he's going to. So we're trying to keep him, fresh, ready for this camp. He threw about a 20 pitch pen. His fastball sat 86,
Okay.
Upper 86, almost 87. He was at 79 about 9 weeks ago. Maybe it's been a little bit longer. We had a young man do a pull down, little tornado throw or something that they were goofing around with, hit 90. His bullpens are around 84, 85. He was also around that same velo number. And when both of those guys kind of hit 86 and then the one guy hit 90 on his throw and there was a college kid in there working and all this stuff and the excitement that the group had, because it's what we sell as our Armory baseball program, the excitement that happens,
Right.
they all rooted for each other.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're building something like that and you're building this community environment, and I'm not talking about all of St. Charles County. I'm just talking about maybe what's in kind of the four walls of the people that come in. The community becomes this really tight-knit group, like a family feel.
Yeah.
But the ability to root for each other is the value, the goosebumps that I got when those kids jumped up and down when that young man hit 86 and when that young man hit 90. I loved every piece of that. And I don't know if there's enough of that in the team setting at like when I control our team practices. I don't know that there's that much support. And so my whole goal is to support the community, like build the community environment.
We have, most businesses, anything you're doing, most people set up within the structure of a mission statement and things of that nature. Core values. Okay. But value. What's valuable to somebody? How do you extrapolate the value of something? Especially if it's not, we say, because usually the term value is always considered with a monetary thought process. But then why do we have core values that have nothing? What do you mean by core values? Well, you talk about community. That's one of ours with Youth Baseball Midwest. It's community, also perspective and accountability. We're doing a show here. We're talking about baseball. We're talking about these types of things. And to be honest, when we get into these subjects, these are the least watched. It's amazing to me. And I find it fascinating when you throw up the pull down and somebody hits 90. There's no perspective to that. I love what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. And I love the camaraderie, and that's a fantastic thing. But the whole the value of everything here is the fact that he did that. But okay, when he comes back to high school and starts throwing, the perspective is can he get people out? Because coach will pull him. If you're walking the bases load and whatnot, throwing 90, but you know that kid is not going to throw 90. He's probably going to sit in high school anywhere from 83 to 86. Mm-hmm. Can he construct outs? The perspective of things is what is skewed, I think, within this. And so what are the core values that we as a community, as a baseball community, are really working towards? Mm-hmm. And I think that's where, we'll pick something out here, and we'll pick something out here, and we'll pick something out there. But there's no overall accountability to something within perspective and the community. And I think this is where these things get skewed, and it's fantastic. We talked about this a while back with the fluff.
Yeah.
The fluff is fantastic. I love that because it does get people pumped up. You're like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's cool. I love that. And then he popped in a 90. Okay. All right. But always perspective. And that is the thing we do not, I think that's the least, is in between there is the perspective, keeping perspective on what you're doing.
I like that you said that perspective, and you didn't necessarily challenge me, but I like where the thought process is coming from when you talk about the perspective, because there's so much that went into throwing that 90 to begin with. Then you talk about the real results, which is the game settings, which it's funny that you brought up. These are the least watched shows. So the least watched Instagram post or social media is the person lifting, the person, going through, the 5-day work week that he has to put in. And then the strike percentages that if we chart his strike percentage and we show how he was at 72% strikes on his bullpen, that stuff does not get watched. Because you get to see your insights, when you're on social media, but as soon as you put that 9-0 there, or you're saying 86, like literally that video of Alex Fields, which you know who he is because he's played for me a long time. He ended up getting like 3 schools reach out to him over the 86, but they don't see none of the other stuff. Nobody said anything about him deadlifting 400 pounds and what it took to get to 400.
Right.
But you have 1,000 views on one, but you only have 200 on the other. I do like that because we talked about it with the fluff, and I'm guilty. I'm 100% guilty because I'm still trying to sell a product. So I think I sell more fluff than I do the actual grind of it.
Most people do.
Well, I think I want to make sure that everybody understands that I'm super honest with the route that I'm taking and what I think I am as a coach and what I think about training, stuff like that. And I just love that you brought up perspective, because, we have a mission statement too. We have core values. We stick to those core values. Right. Those core values do not have a monetary thing, but everything I do, I'm selling a monetary value. Yeah, because that's at the end of the day, you can't have these facilities. You can't have these opportunities, the cages, the all the tools and the equipment that goes along with this, if you don't have a monetary value set to these things. It's just the reality of this world we live in. Yeah. Okay. But, excuse me, most of the time we're affixing that monetary value rather than the value of accountability and perspective to what is happening in the grind of the player. What value does a relationship have to people? And I think this is the key. I did this many years ago when we started our production company, Red Earth Productions. And that's what this is. Youth Baseball Midwest is a production of REP. That is our company that we do other things. We do a lot of marketing and brand marketing and things of that nature.
And one of the things that I saw, I was in corporate. I've worked most of my career in corporate structures. And one of the things that I just was really tired of, just tired, is how transactional everything has become. Your phone, how many times does your phone ring? And now on your iPhones and your Samsungs and all the stuff, scam likely, spam phone call, all this stuff. Because everybody is calling you. They have no clue who you are. I had somebody call the other day and I'll answer them sometimes because I'm just trying to, can you remove my phone number from your list, please? And thank you and have a good day. I'm not going to be rude to that person. They're trying to make a living and whatnot. I know there's a lot of people screaming out, "Why are you calling me?" That's not.
Most of them are automated.
The automation, and then you do
my
get
Lord.
some automated. Yes, I know.
I feel like all of mine are automated. AI.
Yeah, a lot of times anymore. But you get some of the people, and they say, "Is this?" I forget the name. I was like, "So you don't know who you're calling?" And it was a female that they name, and I was like, "So, evidently, I'm not that person. Can you remove? Can you remove my?" It's all transactional. We don't spend any time anymore relating to people and creating relationships and doing business on a relational level. And that is something I never wanted to do. I want my opportunities and people that I deal with and work with and things of that nature to be relational. I want it to be a relationship. I don't want it to be transactional. Although, and I believe that if you develop relationships correctly and you know you're doing business with people and whatnot, you develop those relationships, that part of it comes to it. And that's what we've done here. And that's why we believe, with what we're doing with the YBM Club, we believe we've built relationships in the community that people want to work with us and support us in that.
Yeah, I mean, what we probably on year 4 now. I don't know that in when we first started doing these podcasts together, if either one of us thought that this relationship would have been built.
Right.
But this relationship is definitely not transactional. Yeah, there is. You try to help me out with some things, every now and again when you have the ability to do so, and the thing that I love about it is that it's still building relationships. How can we support each other? How can we help each other? To me, I feel like where we're at in the baseball community is like team baseball. So team settings, I feel like that's a big transactional thing. And so when they're telling you the core values, keep in mind, I am a business owner. I'm a club owner. I'm an instructor. So I'm giving you what I feel is where that's
the trifecta.
Yeah, I dislike the feeling inside that I have all of these people underneath me and I feel like it's only a check coming in.
Yeah.
They're writing these things. And so when they come in, I try to make it a point to communicate and talk with kids as they come in, saying hi to parents and being the face of the organization as well. And so I feel like for the large part of it, when you have the brand across your chest, that's what a lot of people are chasing. And I feel like they don't even mind being transactional and not having those relationships because they get to wear a name across the chest. I don't think an elite athlete whatsoever cares about the name on the chest.
No.
They want to play elite.
That's a great point.
I think they care about playing elite level competition because we have elite level teams here. We have kids leaving to go play national ball that they'll play on the top 5 organizations across the country. They're playing with the Canes national team, the Nationals national team, their Midlands national team. They're not staying with just one guy. If one organization's going here and that kid's wanted, they're going.
Let me ask you this then. And when you say that, the name across the front, and to be sure, we know that. But see, and that's what I mean. So you say the hitting zone or Youth Baseball Midwest. We'll just use the things we have. So what does that mean? Is there meaning underneath it? And how many people, this is why we've talked for many years about parents doing diligence with clubs. What's your philosophy? What's your process? Just had a great conversation with Coach DeAndre Josenberger about that this past week. You should go watch it. We're going to be continuing some of those conversations with different coaches because one of the things, and it's the Gators Baseball Academy, it's up there, and they're big trust the process. Well, what's your process? So is there meaning behind what says, GBA? What does that mean? What does that look like? What is that? And we don't spend enough time putting ourselves in a space where that's a relatable understanding of what we're doing and how we're doing it and moving forward. Because if relational construct, if I can't relate to you and you can't relate to me, there is no moving forward. That's the basis of anything. Transactions are easy. I come in, I get that, but I don't understand a word you're saying. There's no relational construct. It doesn't work.
It don't, and it don't work in anything. It's not going to work in your relationships in life, your kids or whatever you have, like sports, anything. I don't think none of that works without trying to build something like that. You asked, I think you were trying to go there and little left, but you stuck me at like, what does THZ mean?
Yeah, I know. Cause I went,
yeah, but I stuck to that though, because we say trust the process all the time. But what does it mean? I don't actually want people to recognize the hitting zone. I'll be honest with you. I want people to recognize me. I want people to recognize my brand and who I am. The hitting zone is just the building with an address on it.
I agree.
And so, for me, it's like and why is that? Because a kid walks in and goes, I know that guy.
Hey, that's Mitch.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I want people to trust me. Because when a 10-year-old kid looks at me, they're like, holy cow, this dude's got a ton of energy. He's big. Wow, right? Like, and then you get the high school kids come in there.
I thought you were going a different way.
Well, no, I just when I walk through the building, I have this intimidating figure that walks through there. I'm loud. You can hear me across the building. And trust me, I've made the sprinklers go off. I've been so hot in that building before. That's actually not true. Some kid from Holt, screw the Indians. But anyways, he hit a ball and I had a hole in the net and it hit the sprinkler. At the same time, I was yelling at my 15U team. Might have been the 14U team with Titus. I was beat red. They were yelling at me, or I was yelling at them. They frustrated me really bad. And that hit the sprinkler head. Water went everywhere. To about 3 inches of water in the facility.
Oh my goodness!
Like second year we've owned the business. But anyways, like
did you learn? Yelling will set off the sprinklers.
I did. And the funny thing is like when we're outside, everybody prays for the ducks to fly by or geese, because I'll stop yelling at everybody and just like the squirrel, and I'll watch the geese and ducks fly by, knowing that I got 4 months to go for hunting.
So it's different than saying squirrel. It's geese.
Oh, yeah. There's some things that, everybody's like, somebody hurry up and somebody release a pet goose or something so that we can get this guy off his tangents here. But that's the thing is I want people to recognize, parents to recognize me, because I'll stay true to this. I'm going to be as honest as I can to you, whether you like it or not.
Sure.
I'm going to be honest with you. I might not always say it in the fashion that I would like, because sometimes I have a different energy behind it, because I want to it's kind of mean. But I try to be in a kind way. Tell your son that, or daughter, they have a long way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And without these expectations, I want people to understand that that's me. I don't want everybody to look at the hitting zone and go, that's what the hitting zone is. Right. I want people to see, well, you come in and you go through the Armory baseball program, you're going to deal with Coach Brown, and you're going to deal with me, and you're going to deal with that kind of energy. I don't want everybody to look at it and go, the Armory baseball program made me. I want it to be Coach Brown helped me. Coach Mitch helped me. But you know what? The player is the person that makes themselves.
Yes.
Not
absolutely,
the building,
absolutely.
Not the training program, not me. It is literally the player. And I think that's what goes back to why we connect a lot in the community. Because realistically, and that's why I offered you memberships.
Yeah.
and not
Right.
something else is because I want the kids that go in there and want to be better.
Do you want to work?
Yeah, because that's what a membership does.
Yeah.
It's
You
just
got
flat
to
out
put
work.
in the work.
And I tell you, watching these young people grow and been telling them for 3 years, you have to get in here, you have to get in here, you have to eat, you have to work out, you have to do these things. They thought I was full of it. And sometimes I have been. I was a little constipated, so I was a little full of it. But drink some coffee, good things happen. They figured it out. And guess what they do every day?
Kept that clean. That was good.
Yeah. 5 months of just straight getting after the weights. And now they can't live without the weights. And all of everything else jumped up. The athleticism, the movement, the profile, all of it has changed. And they think it's a plyo drill, or they think it's the coach did that. No, the athlete buying in to the process we just talked about, trusting it.
Yep.
But what is the process? It is the time put in.
And it's
right. Is that
yes.
it? Maybe.
It first starts with the mind. Period.
Say it.
Say
it.
The body follows the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stole that from you.
I love, but see, you've heard that from other coaches.
No, I haven't.
Been something I have.
I've only heard it from you, and I guess I'm another coach, so I guess you could say that because I love what that means.
I heard that many years ago from Jimmy Johnson.
Nobody probably knows who that is.
Jimmy Johnson, head coach
Of
Miami Hurricanes
and
Dallas Cowboys.
And what channel is he on Sundays?
Fox.
Yeah.
But
nobody knows
anymore.
that.
I mean, he's out on his boat in Miami now. But anyway.
I'm just saying.
Fishing. But
that's going to lead me into another topic, by the way.
But
the next 15 minutes.
But you have this, that, and this is why it's the athlete. There are people, as you say, like Coach Brown, yourself, and in these facilities that are there to help and guide you through this process because they've been there. They know they understand the things that work. They've had success. They're doing that. But unless you're willing to start here and say, okay, I'm willing to do this and I'm going to listen, pay attention. I'm going to take the things that are there and work with them and do these things and be accountable, setting perspective, being part of the community, working together with everybody, then that's when those things begin to come to fruition. That's when success starts. You listen to anybody that's been successful, that's a common theme.
Everybody on this show, every host,
yeah,
every athlete you bring in here, every single instructor, you can cross over into other sports. I guarantee it's the same
thing.
The message.
It is, Mitch. There's no secret sauce.
There's not. I do like Asian zing though.
You just
on my eggs.
I'm gonna back up there a second. I'm gonna back up there.
I don't know, Brian. I'm winging it here today.
But to your point, I think there is a secret sauce. And this is the one, and I'm going to come right back to this and we'll bring the conversation full circle because this is it. It's relationships because not everybody will come into your building and go, I like the way Mitch does that.
Oh, no. I can tell you there's a lot of people that don't like me.
Right? And
that's okay, by the way.
Relationally, it won't work. And they won't be bought in. They won't do and so you have to find there's other people. Now, maybe they like Coach Brown differently. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But that's what I say. It's not one size fits all because it still has to be relational. That you have to find that common, that relationship that will help you understand what those things are, and you connect with that kid, and it's good. And they're like, "Yeah, man, I love Coach Mitch, and yeah, I love that kid. He just works his butt off, And these are things that we hear and. You've had athletes that go, nah, I'm just not, and they go and they have success with somebody else because they related well to that person because personalities will sometimes jive with other people. And that's just the reality of it. I think if you want to call it a secret sauce, that to me is at the crux of it, but we don't spend enough time. We hear, oh man, you got to go see that guy because he's great. And the kid's like, I don't like this guy at all, Mom. And no, you're going because he's that's what they told. No. It still has to be that relational construct, the accountability to each other, and building that community that will help that person succeed.
Yeah, and when you hear that from, because that's a good point you bring up the parent, like, no, you're going there because he's that.
Yes.
Back to transactionals things, but you're really creating a destructive process.
I agree.
And if you put those kids in here, so I'll give you an example. I have kids now that are in the Armory program that necessarily didn't like the way that I trained them.
Right.
However, that doesn't mean that you have a bad relationship. It just means maybe the training techniques or what you say to them or how you go about your business maybe are not a good fit for them. And there's guys that are really super nice guys and young and they still aren't the right guy for some of these kids. Some of these guys need a softer coach. They need somebody that's not pushy and that's just going to kind of guide them in a nice, comfortable way. I think that's okay. I don't know that how far you'll grow because I think that you need to be accountable. I think you need to kind of be pushed a little bit.
Sometimes you have to learn how to be that too. And sometimes it takes a little bit more for the athlete to come to that place.
Yeah, age, maturity, all of this still grows, like getting through middle school, things like that. But what's interesting about the right now is because I have a long tenure in this sport, people will still come to me that maybe don't like to work with me instructional wise, but will come to me and say, I need help with my confidence. Mm-hmm. And then we'll sit down and have a conversation about where you're at mentally.
Right.
And they'll love that piece of me. And then they'll come on and say, I want to go to him, not for a one-on-one session to teach me how to hit. I don't like the way he talks to me while we hit because he tells me that I need to either poo or get off the pot kind of thing. And some people don't like that.
And that's real. And sometimes they don't know how to relate to that. It's not the way their household or this or whatever the case may be.
They also don't talk to you about it.
And that's the other thing too. Sometimes you don't know. And there again, conversation. And that's why I think some of these things are as they are. I don't need you to text me. Come over here, look me in the face, and have a chat. That is another thing that we've gotten away from. We spend all this time. Well, no. Do you know the athlete? Do you know the instructor? Have we talked? Do we talk? You want to text me about, hey, I'll be there at 3. Fantastic. But don't send, this 80-word text, and expect this conversation. No. Pick up the phone or come into the building. Have a discussion. Let's look at this because then you can really connect relationally. And we don't spend the time doing that as much as we used to. And I think this is where some of these, when you find those relationships, that's where the connections happen. And that's where you find a lot of success. You do. And sometimes it takes a little bit to find the right place and the right space and people that do hold, similar thoughts about this or that. And that doesn't mean about baseball that the way you do this is wrong or the way this person does this is wrong. It's just their way of getting to the same place. And that's usually the case. Most people have different ideas about how to get to the same place in the sense of with baseball and training and things of that nature. But overall, I mean, there is, I think at the end of the day, much of instruction, throwing the baseball, hitting the baseball, running, doing, it's all pretty much the same. And you have to be you have to do certain things the same way in order for it to be successful. So the only thing that really is left to me when I look at the whole process is relationships.
It could be nonverbal. Because when I think about relationships, I'm thinking about how the game's played, right? Mm-hmm. How do they play the game in Latin countries?
Yeah.
Is it the same 9 innings?
Right.
Is it the same rules? Same strike 3, straight ball 4? You can only reach first base so many times. You can only get to third base, score from third base so many times. What rule is different, maybe other than some of the stuff that the MLB is trying to do with automated strike zones?
Right.
But what's different in Japan? What's different in Korea? What's different in Australia?
Right.
The game is literally designed by what Americans created, right? So the game doesn't change no matter where you're at. Why can't I go on a field and play with 8 different people from 8 different countries. The game is the same.
Yes.
The body follows the mind kind of stuff, right?
All-star games.
Yeah, like basketball, it's
Yep.
the same.
Yep.
Right? Football, it's the same unless you're in soccer and you call it something
you're
different.
Seeing success, you look at these guys. Listen, and you look at the 2 teams in baseball that were at the top, the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, and it was a common refrain. I love these guys.
But that's the one thing about
I think managing in any sport at the highest level, personally, with baseball, with football, that goes to college, and I think it's seeping down into high-level high school baseball at this point. You're not X and O and stuff. You have a philosophy. You're doing those things, you whatnot, but you're managing the ego. You're managing kids, because I don't care if you're a high-level athlete, there's a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance.
Oh, yeah. You have to have
and that's
that.
okay.
You have to have it.
It's the reality of playing at that level.
Yeah.
Okay. So having that confidence and I can go out there and do what I do. It's different. And getting everybody like-minded and moving in the same direction is the key to having that success. And I think that's the community part, people being accountable to each other. And you hear that in teams that have a lot of success. Yeah, man, I love these guys. I love this locker room. And that doesn't mean they all, think the same about politics or this or that. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. We're here as a group. We care about each other. We're playing on the same, we're all going for the same thing, and we work together that way. And to me, I think that is the keys to all of it comes back into it's relationships.
I'm going to give you 4 before we wrap this show up. And it's about the Dodgers, so you'll like this. I am not the biggest fan of Kike Hernandez and his
I'm not either.
antics.
In that respect. I'm not either. I agree with you.
However, that man, whatever he's got going on with Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Shohei Ohtani, the reason I brought those 3 up, because that's a white guy, a black guy, and Japanese.
Oriental.
Mm-hmm. And then you have Kike, who's Latin.
Mm-hmm.
And you have so much different kind of personalities, and for whatever reason, Kike is able to bring out the weirdness, the whatever you want to call what Kike is. That to me is the relationships built inside that locker room that they love Kike Hernandez. And is Kike kind of the glue that keeps that dugout loose, And
I would point even more towards Miggy Rowe.
Well, Rojas is a guy, like, you look at like the play out in center, that could have won the game that Pages caught. He went on, Kike Hernandez went on the late night show and he talked about it, and just the energy that he had.
Yeah.
And that in that interview, it's like, I think I actually like the guy now. Not with the stuff that you actually see on TV, but the stuff that probably is going on behind the scenes. That's a guy that if you had to go to war with, that's the guy that you want to go to war with.
He's going to be in the foxhole with you.
Yeah,
he's not going to leave you hanging.
And that, like, trust me, I don't like the antics. I don't like the whatever that move is.
I agree with you.
It's a little weird. But you know what? Like that's what I love about the relationships, is because you said that
his guys don't always agree with those things, whatnot. But in the end, it's an understanding that, hey, you know what? You went a little too, and I guarantee you there's somebody, and it's probably Miggy Rowe in there, went a little too far, dial it back.
Yeah. And
he has the respect of that locker room to be able to do that.
Yeah.
The relational construct to be able to do that. And it keeps Kike from going
too
out
far
of control. And that's
I think he's gone too far a few times. But.
Yes. But I guarantee you, but you don't see it because it's clubhouse stuff, and Miggy goes, be cool, bro.
Yeah, it's just, Freddie Freeman, to me, just the way he's interviewed, seems like a very dry, matter-of-fact personality. And he's not. Like, you saw him doing the worm, the stuff like that. And I just go back to what it feels like when you talk about community and then the perspective, and you just brought it up. What goes on behind the scenes that allows that stuff to happen in the dugout, or why they're, I know that because Kike does certain things, there's always going to be a camera guy on Kike to find out what weird stuff that he's doing. So unfortunately that happens, but that's part of being a professional athlete. You have to deal with that kind of stuff. But I think about that and I'm like, that's a culture. That's an environment that breeds a winning feel. And then you go back to the perception, you go back to the process, the fluff. All you see is the goofiness. But you don't see the two going at it, and maybe in spring training or Miggy saying something to him in the dugout, saying, "Hey, man, the cup touch thing, that's got to stop. I don't like that."
Let's bring it even down, and it's easy to talk about Major League Baseball and whatnot, but I always, let's bring it into where we live, high school baseball, the youth baseball community, and I think it's tougher with 8U to 14U. It's not really, but high school baseball. How many seniors have relationships that there's accountability to the community, the respect level, that says, hey, let's bring this into perspective. Because one of the things, and I'll put it out there like this, we've dealt with this for quite some time. The chirping, just the nonsense that comes from the dugouts at high school games at times. Hey, look, I understand that, the excitement, your dudes and whatnot, but where is the balance of these things that it carries too far and then it gets out of control? And then are there those guys? Is there the relationships there enough in senior leadership that can keep those things from going too far? And are we teaching the kids how to police that in that respect? How to deal with that? How to build those relationships to where we can do it? It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But when it goes too far and it gets carried away, where is the leadership part of that from the guys that hold the respect, that hold everybody accountable to doing the right thing?
Yeah, I will tell you that there's no need to talk about somebody else's parent. There's no need to talk about somebody else's girlfriend. And there's schools in this community that do that.
Yes.
Which that annoys me.
It's out of control.
I don't mind chirping. I'm a chirper myself at the right time in the right moment.
If you're a guy that's going out on the field, I mean, I'm sorry, guys in the stands, please do not chirp. You can't go out there,
especially if you're not on varsity,
and you can't hit that guy anyway. Do not do it. Root for your team. Root for your team.
That's a whole other conversation.
But I'm sorry, I had to put that in there. Well, I had to let that one go.
You're correct though. That's actually one thing that really bothers me. So I posted on this the other day.
I know I got far.
No. It's the same concept. So or same flow, kind of, if you will. But the chirping from the stands. I'm gonna get back to the dugout because I want to talk about specific program that I think is going to have a little bit of senior leadership maybe this year. He's just on the show, and there's been a change at the helm. So I'm gonna talk about Ford Zone All West here in a minute. But parents. Like there's a hard slide at the plate, like there's a bases loaded and a kid hard slide, slides into the plate. The catcher doesn't move his feet and the fans are just like
and everybody's up in a pile of dust.
And they start cussing at the kid and stuff like that.
And you're like, what are you doing?
I think the stands, especially in high school, I don't know that they deserve the right to be able to chirp another team or to chirp a situation. I think they should just keep their mouth shut and clap and hoorah, like yay.
You can go, oh man.
I literally cannot stand a parent jumping up like a kid got hit by a pitch because he called timeout, umpire called it late, and the kid hit him. I loved it. I don't like the softness in baseball anymore. I think we should still hard slide at second base in the big leagues. I think that some of those things should be brought back. The busted prosy rule, whatever. Hard slides, I'm for it. Mm-hmm. Break up the double play. I'm sorry. I don't want to give up a routine double play with two, with an out, and I need to go hard at the second baseman or shortstop to try to not get that out at first base so we can continue the World Series.
Those are capital investment decisions.
That's way. I get it. So I understand. It's a business. I get it. I still can't get rid of some of my old school thoughts.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I do not like the stands, especially a grown person. I cussed on my post, but a grown person, right? You get it. I don't like them jumping up, yelling, hey, to some kid who's 15, 16 years old for doing his job, and your son, the catcher, is not good enough to get out of the way. Like, there's these things like that fans do that drive, and I'm talking on the lower levels, like things they don't pay for. So I think chirping in the big leagues, whatever, but fans in the stands in like a 12U game, blame your catching coach for not getting the kid out of the way or teaching.
Don't blame anybody. Just root or cheer or whatever the case was.
If the kid blatantly does something bad,
let the officials handle it.
Let your coach handle it, and let your teammates handle it. If your kid comes back and says, I got a ball in the ribs for you, hang in there, buddy, I'll get him back.
I don't think we should be teaching that at 12U personally. That's just my thought process.
I'm going to give the old sign. Listen, I'm not going to teach my 9U kids to do that either. Okay. I'm not promoting violence.
I didn't say you were, but
well, it's violent to do those kinds of things. You can hurt somebody.
It's a dangerous game. At 12U, just teach them to play the game. Let the other stuff happen as it goes.
Let the kids play.
Yeah.
Let the kids play. Let the coaches coach. I know that you're concerned about your kid, but anyways, back to chirping, Fort Zumwalt West. I have never liked their little high-pitched hyena little things that they do. Nolan, Pyle, can you guys stop that? I love Nolan and I love Brendan Pyle, and I think their senior leadership is going to be in full bloom this coming spring for Fort Zumwalt West, and I'm interested in to see if those kinds of things still happen, because I don't know that both of them necessarily like all of it, but are they going to be able to control some of that as seniors? And I'm not picking on Fort Zumwalt West, but
and I think that's been something throughout high school baseball for quite some time, not just West, but you're talking about across the board. I mean, but I think it and I've said this, and I've talked to the coaches and whatnot, and I think everybody knows. I just don't like the fact that, we're high school baseball. This is what I'm talking about. You have the Misha statement about sportsmanlike conduct, and we read this before every game. This is an extension of the classroom, and we all need the sportsmanship and treat each other with fairness and kindness. And everybody starts screaming, hollering, calling each other names and yelling obscenities.
You should just get rid of that statement.
So which one is it?
Because they're not upholding it.
So, and no, nobody's upholding it.
And then
and I don't mean you should be chucking people out or whatnot. But understand, if this is the things that we talk about as far as high school baseball, then those are the things that we should be platforming in that respect. And I don't mind the chirping. And to me, too, I think officials are not handling those situations very well. You can walk over to a coach between innings and go, Coach, it's getting out of control. Point it. Quit pointing. You got to tell the kids, quit pointing at the other team.
Keep it in your dugout.
Keep it in your dugout. Keep it towards your team. We're all good. I don't care if somebody's yelling and hollering. Don't matter to me. Yeah. That's okay.
You don't even hear it as a player anyways.
No, most of the time not. And, so just as an official, I don't think we handle those things very well. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of things that are involved in that because, we go out for the game. It should be about the players, should be about the game and all those things. But the adults in the room, and I've been guilty of these things. That's the thing. You don't, you're throwing stone. You can't. Hey, look, we've all messed up about some of these things and done things, said stuff.
Oh, I could tell you I have.
I umpired for 13 years. I got chucked out of a couple of games as a coach, and by people I'd worked with.
Magic words always work.
And, it's one of those things, is should you this, that, hey, you know what? I've never thought ill of a coach for coming out and protecting his team, coming out and going, Blue, you missed that. whether I did or didn't, or believed I did or didn't. There's close calls. It could have gone. You punched him. It's what it is. You missed that one. Okay. Thanks, coach. If you got belligerent or out of the way, get back to your dugouts enough. You can do the warnings and all the things that you have at your disposal. But you're as a coach, you defend your team. That's what you do. Those kids have to know that you're going to fight for them.
Yeah, you got to have support.
And that's okay. That doesn't mean, with a two-man crew, you can sometimes, depending upon the situations, you can get another viewpoint if you didn't have a better, and you could say that, coach, my angle was, I'll see, but I don't think he's going to change because he was over there.
Yeah.
And they're coming out. Can you ask him why? He wasn't even watching.
You see it a lot with bases loaded, and that's why with a two-man crew is very difficult. And I try to tell my parents, leave the umpires alone. Going to your point in coaching and defending your players, I've literally gone out to an umpire before, like a bang call, and everybody's hooting and hollering. I've walked out there and I go, listen, I'm not here to argue at all. Mm-mm. I don't know if you got the call right. I don't really care, but I'm going to come out here and I'm going to shake my head a little bit and I'm going to act like I'm trying to chew you out, but I'm really not. I really don't care. I'm just
throw your hands up at me.
I'm trying to defend my team right now. So I want it to look like that. I've gone out there and said that. And the umpire looked at me and it's like, I'm like, no, don't do that.
No,
don't do that. I need you to buy in and let's just go for it. Just
back to the dugout.
And, it's like leaving a hamburger on third base for Eric Gregg back in the day, kind of thing, the kind of vibe. And I've had umpires come up to me and go, Coach, that was the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. And I go, what did you want me to do? I just had to defend my team. I have to let my team know that I actually have their support. I actually think the call, was right or whatever. Coach Matt, I want to make sure that I love Fort Zumwalt West baseball. You know that. You guys come in and work with me. It's been a pleasure to see Nolan play baseball since he's about 11 years old. What I'm just getting to is things like what goes on between Francis Howell and West, kind of the rivalry games, and they get real personal. I just really don't like that.
That happens we saw some of that in some other.
It's
ugly.
I know that this happens everywhere. It's happened. I've been a part of it too. And I know that there's still kids available, are kids that are doing this, but as you said, the adults in the room kind of need to control some of that stuff. And I'm not calling out Matt. I'm not calling out Coach Goff or Perkins or anything like that. It's just Fort Zumwalt West is in my area. They happen to be highlighted because I love what they do in general.
Again, though, getting back to, the secret sauce is relationships. It's got to be at that point because all the rest of those things, the community, the accountability, the perspective, they're there. But if
they
you're
don't happen
not
without relationships.
That's right. If we're not building relationships in those types of situations, I just think it's all pretty much, everything becomes transactional. Nobody knows. And it's easy just to be an individual and not care about, I'm going to get mine and, move on down the road. And I just think that's the key.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to spend some money, go to Youth Baseball Midwest.com. Become a part of the YBM club. Mm-hmm. Don't forget that you can come to 1496 Hoff Industrial Center in O'Fallon, Missouri, and you can just drop a check off. You don't have to bring your kid in, nothing like that, if you want to be a transaction. But if you want to build relationships, you have to be a part of his club. You have to go to you're already on YouTube because that's where you're watching it. You have to.
We would like you to be.
Yeah. We want you to be a subscriber, not just get this because I shared it. Yeah. More so the community. And we have 100 legacy members. And could you imagine being part of something that's a legacy?
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. And I'm not actually recruiting for the legacy baseball program. This is for his youth baseball.
Yeah, it's a legacy membership.
But anyways, I'm kidding on the transaction stuff. Unless you really want to drop off a check, we do have sponsors there. So if you want to become sponsor this show, call Brian, Red Earth Productions, whatever you need to do. Yeah. DM them, whatever. Let's make some things happen. Let's continue to be able to grow this process. Are you going to go like this next? Is that what you were doing? Were you licking your fingers like you were ready to box or something?
No, I was just scratching my chin. I was scratching my chin. Man.
I tried to use my peripheral. That's probably why I can't hit curveballs anymore.
What's with all the violence in the world?
I thought he was going like this to freshen up his eyebrows.
I ain't jumping in the middle of that. I'll get my hiney whooped.
Well, I, for some reason, I thought you were ready to support youth baseball, the membership and something. That I thought you were freshening it up.
You were like boxing. I'm like,
no, I don't.
boxing.
Oh, that got weird. And I thought something was weird. Hitting Zone podcast. You need to follow them. We have a bunch of videos out there for the past couple of years. It's been awesome. Again, community perspective, relationships. None of this happens without the relationships that are being built, and that's what I want to create. And we're doing that. The people that have been on this show, they're supporting. We have a camp coming up December 13th. I hope you don't mind me plugging this. It is my podcast, so I should be good.
It is your podcast.
Yeah, we have Josh Cathcart, who's been on the show a couple times. He's coming up from Texas, December 13th. We're actually going to make this a lock-in, semi-lock-in. Oh, cool. It's going to be a 9-hour event. We're going to start at 12:30, going to go to 9:30. We're doing 2 hours of camps. That's got Andrew Keck and Josh Cathcart. Shane Eames was going to be there. He's got to go somewhere else. So we lost Shane because we changed the time. But after the 2 hours is up, we're going to do a MLB The Show tournament.
Oh, sweet.
Yep. And so we're going to have some food there for everybody. We're going to have some events. You'll see that on the Hitting Zone's Facebook page on the event calendar, which I have the link to go sign up. If you're a member, which you can go to his and get a discount there, then you can get a discount for me on the camp. How sweet is that to become a member of YBM?
We got discounts everywhere, bro.
Yeah, and then you get the discount to be a member of my place, and then you can get 30% off on the camp. That's pretty slick, dude. You can save a ton of money to be a part of something like this. And then maybe your kid can win a cool prize. But it's going to be a really neat event. We're going to have some vendors there, some stuff for you to win. We're doing all ages. So is this a 12:30 p.m. to a 9:30 p.m. Correct.
Or is it okay?
Yeah,
so it's not like 12:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
Because we have some 10 and 11-year-olds that still need to go to bed by 8 o'clock, 8:30, and their parents are like, I ain't doing that overnight, and I don't know that I want to do it overnight. I still want to go duck hunting, so I think if I get it done at 9:30, I'm good. But again, we're having Josh Cathcart's coming up. I don't know if you know anything about him, but you need to go follow him and see what he's doing. He's got
Hitting Done Right.
Hitting Done Right. Great social media platform. Andrew Keck is the man.
I like Andrew.
We have
Keck.
A couple
AK-12, right?
AK-12 Academy. We have a couple college kids helping. Of course, I'm going to be there. I'm going to teach base running.
I'm going to give a shout out to those guys down there. I never.
Why are you laughing at me?
You were doing that AK-12. He's down there. Eric Rule runs Center St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know it was there till I think last year.
Yeah, we used it for Wash U a few times.
And it's a great facility. Eric Rule, he's an assistant coach.
Oh,
assistant coach at Vianney and director there with the Southside Prospects. Got to know him a little bit. So, yeah. And Andrew Keck works down there with them. They got some good stuff going on down there in South County.
Andrew is one of my favorite follows, along with what's going on here. And by the way, I'm going to give a plug to them and Shane. I think they got January 19th. I think that's President's Day. Is it President's Day January 19th, or is that MLK? I think it's President's
It's MLK, I think. President.
I actually don't know.
No, President's Day is in February.
They have a camp coming up. I think it's January 19th. Him and Shane. It's an elite level, 20 kids only, very small group. I have to give a shout out because they've been on the show a few times, so I have to make sure that we talk about these guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. Go hit all the things, all the likes, follows, shares, reposts, comments, retweets, or re-X's. I don't know. Don't do the re-X thing. That could be dangerous.
Repost.
You guys have a great day.
What he said.